So a lot of unsettling things had happened, and consequently my self-esteem had dropped massively. I was at networking groups putting on a brave face, as we all do, at the school gate putting on a brave face, but behind it all, just like a shadow of me, really. My confidence had been completely blown. As a side effect to that, I'd put on just over 2.5 stone. They always used to say to me, "Oh, you don't look like you carry that weight," but when you know that you do, and you get in that spiral that we all know of, I can cover it up so no one's going to notice, so I'll eat a bit more, and I think in a way you lose a bit of respect for yourself, because I make excuses for everything. So I knew that Sarah would see through all that, cut through it, and get to the grassroots of it all. Being in the past on yo-yo diets and being able to do quick fixes, that's what I expected, wrongly. Sarah's program was a lot more intense and a lot more deeper than I had imagined, but as it turned out, perfect for me. So yeah, so there was always an excuse not to address it, and it's easier when you just put it to one side. I think the hardest thing is actually addressing it. So this was very different, and yet I couldn't comprehend why it was so different. I thought, I'm paying this money, I want to see results right now. And there was a frustration, which I will say to everyone out there, you know, Sarah can take it. She can handle any, you know, anything that you want to throw up, and she doesn't come back with a no, you're wrong. She comes back with, let's look into why you think that. And actually, yes, she was absolutely right in this situation, because I was perceiving I was going to get a quick fix. So when I didn't, and there was a frustration, I vented it at Sarah and said, this is how I'm feeling. These results aren't coming quick enough. And we then addressed that. But it was funny, because that's a hurdle that I had to get over. That was a mindset of these quick fixes that you drop into, and then you always end up failing on. And this has to be very different. This has to be a whole mindset, a whole change. This is about you training yourself to go, I can do this myself, and finding out where you've been going wrong. So really, really useful. Anything flags up that you think, hey, I think I'm not doing this right, or I'm not getting this, you can absolutely bring it up. It was a natural progression to start seeing changes. And let's go, do you know what? I'm 44. This hasn't ever worked for me before, quick fixes. I've done everything. I've done Cambridge. I've done extreme cabbage blooming soup at one point in the 90s, when I probably didn't even need to do it. But this is the first time that I've looked into my journey as a long-term process. Really, really different. So yeah, a lot to me. I had a family wedding coming up. I was also dating as well, which Sarah and I have had many in-depth conversations about, and that's a massive hurdle when you don't feel comfortable in yourself. So lots of mini goals. But apart from that, during that whole the whole kind of 12 weeks, I can honestly say that Sarah's advice has been, don't do this 7 days a week. Don't kind of beat yourself up if you have an event to go to and you have a drink, because this was always my issue. Was I would go all the way up to this point of this event, feel amazing, and then go, well, hey, I can eat what I want now, drink what I want, and sabotage it all. But something switched on, and actually I did have a gin and tonic on numerous occasions, but I enjoyed it. It was just in the back of my mind that actually I'm doing this for me. So the whole thing was much easier to follow. I berated Sarah. I said, I need a meal plan. I've got to do a meal plan. I've got to see results with a meal plan. And she was like, well, I can give you a meal plan. can give you a meal plan and you can stick to the meal plan, but this whole objective is that you need to be finding something that suits you for the rest of your life. So you need to work with small changes, and these small changes can be incorporated without the brain power of failure, loss, any stresses that watching what you eat add to your life, which, as we all know, it can be very stressful. So I still carried on. I was able to do all these events. I was able to look amazing in a dress. But that's just one of quite a few things that have happened since I've been working with Sarah. The weight hasn't been the biggest change. I absolutely would have thought it would be. I've had more energy. I do more exercise, but I don't want people to get scared about that. You know, and for me, it's an overall kind of confidence and a longer journey. My biggest thing has been that I've got the power in me to do this. I've got the power. I can do it myself. And now I'm not doing it for anyone else. I'm doing it for me. It's a bit of a girl power thing for the first time in my life. You know, this is about me and setting a good example for my two girls. Just seeing you at exactly the right time has been so much more than losing the weight.
But we did like a session that I would class as, so it is part of what I do as a hypnotherapist, but it's not, you didn't have your eyes closed at any point, did you? Like, you were fully conscious and awake. But we did some process work where we changed some things around in your mind, in your subconscious mind. Like,
these were my favourite sessions that we had. These were my favourite sessions. It's like a kind of counselling that you don't think that you need, that you don't want to admit that you need. But Sarah helped me to put all these different parts of me into perspective, to deal with them kind of separately and to look at the bigger picture. And it was really, really useful. Those sort of exercises were really beneficial to me. Then we did this session on confidence and inner voices, etc., that can often hold you back from daily things, whether that's your food choices, exercise choices, lifestyle choices, and ultimately, for me, work. And I said, yeah, I like the fact I'm self-employed because I don't have to be accountable to anyone. And then I suddenly realised, shit, I'm accountable to myself. I'm really accountable to myself. This is all really part of this same thing. And then I'm like, why? If I can deal with this accountability in every other aspect, like what I put in my mouth, how I am with people in the public, how I manage my emotions, and I deal with my accountability that way, then why the hell can't I be accountable in my work? Accountability is not a negative thing, and that's the way I perceived it. And then subsequently, and they've presented me with an amazing package, and guess what, I sort of do have to be accountable now, and I'm looking at it with a whole new different perspective. I'm like, I'm going to smash this. I'm so confident with my knowledge, with the way I interact with my clients and the way I look after my clients. Why can't I just accept that accountability is a really good thing? So you help me to see it as all a positive, and consequently, yeah, my opportunity for earning has actually more than doubled, and my opportunities all around that are attached to that have also doubled, all boosting my confidence. So as everyone can now see, this has been a crazy 12 weeks, but I so believe it's all linked with doing this.
Amazing.
And I can tell now by knowing you and working with you that you relate to so much more than you let on, and you do, and you've felt those feelings, and you've been there, and you've dealt with it, and you just quietly sit back and just let me deal with it and realize it. And then I go, oh my gosh, it's like a revelation. But absolutely been a total pleasure working with you. Total pleasure. Yeah.
My pleasure too, Claire.
I would say to anybody that feels the way that I felt, when you've always been confident, and you've always, I've had confident jobs, I've got a lot of friends, and when the rug is pulled out from underneath you, and I kind of think I have to say, so, you know, been with the same man since I was 16, and when you find out there's been a lot of betrayal going on and you've been oblivious to it, and you know, it rocks your world, it rocks your confidence. You question everything. You question, you know, but she's younger, she's prettier. Oh my God, I can't tell you the depths that I've been to. And I would say to anybody who is feeling any self-doubt and negativity, you can get through this. You have to go, why do I want to do it? Who do I want to do it for? What is it going to achieve by me getting myself up and out? And you have to kind of look to that future self. You have to look to that future Claire and go, I'm doing this because in the future I want to not feel like this. I want to feel better, and the future might even be a few weeks away. That's when it's achievable. It doesn't have to be, you know, a 3-year plan. It can be, this is what I want to achieve, this is how I want to feel. If you make up your mind that you want to achieve that and you want to make changes, then look into which angle to go down. Investigate all your options, you know, look at them. And all I would say is, if you need somebody that is going to have your back, if you need somebody that's going to give it to you in black and white and not pretty it up, and if you need to really, really get to the balls of why this is all happening to you and make changes, then no investment is out of the question in terms of research it, look into it, consider it. Well, I wouldn't be here if it didn't work for me. So yeah.
Awesome. It's just amazing to have you here, Claire, and
my first live video ever.
First live video. I really appreciate that, and I think it's a credit to how much you've grown and transformed, both physically and emotionally. And you're a really awesome person, Claire. You're really special, and you know, that connection that we had since we met, really, and when we spoke on the phone 13 weeks ago, is really important to me, and has been something that I've really, really enjoyed. So thank you for being such an amazing woman to work with.
Thank you for working with me. It's been a pleasure.